G'day, Paul from Small Crown Productions here. Welcome to today's 100 Days of Shakespeare video. In this video, we are talking with Colin Smith, a classically trained actor who has done a lot of Shakespeare. He and I have worked on a few projects together over the years. Colin is a self-professed Shakespeare nerd. He loves it, and tonight he is talking about structure in Shakespeare's text. So, let's get into it. Cole, tell us about structure.
Yeah, I've become enamored with this idea that in a way Shakespeare's language or any contemporary of his is kind of a puzzle to unlock, and it's got a lot to do with really the structure of verse. Not so much prose, but I mean there's more to prose than just it being non-structured text. But Shakespeare is an actor's writer. You know, he was an actor first before he was a writer, and he understands what actors will want to know or what they're going to go through when they're investigating a part, playing one. Well, he obviously wrote in the verse structure because it was just the structure du jour of the day, but he deliberately broke the structure in really creative ways. He didn't stick to just it being 5 iambs per line. When he decides to go offbeat on an iamb, turns it to a trochee or whatever, then that's got meaning on it. When he decides to go more than the 5 iambs, if he goes to 6, 7, 8, I've seen, that's got to mean something. He's giving us clues to unlock what he's thinking about, what his characters are doing, and it's not as if he can write down, and he didn't, stage directions or directions on how to play a particular line. And that's not to say that he's got one way of even doing it, because you can interpret it in a multiplicity of ways, and that's wonderful to go on that journey of discovery and then maybe think that, maybe the way I've been playing it for X number of weeks on a season isn't really the way it's supposed to be done. Maybe I should change it up. Play against what I initially thought. So there's a lot of room for maneuvering in Shakespeare's verse. It's not like the metronomic kind of writing that Marlowe or other writers do. It's got a real jazz to it, as our old AD Rob was meant to say, was wont to say, that it's against the structure in an informative way and in a way that gives us the freedom to explore. It's really cool.
That's brilliant. So for someone approaching the text, coming across these moments where it's not in your standard iambic structure, not just talking about the difference between poetry and prose, but when you are finding those 6, 7, 8 iambs in a line, the offbeat kind of emphasis, what should somebody be kind of thinking about when they come across this?
Yeah. Well, the very first thing is, why was it broken like this? Why, and how often is it irregularly structured as well? It might be just one offbeat in a 30-line monologue, and then that's a matter of then, okay, why are these words or this line significant to the rest? I remember
why has it been constructed to stand out in that way?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, indeed. I'm pretty sure that the last thing that I took any kind of big study in, I'm pretty sure it was Portia's speech to Shylock in the courtroom. The quality of mercy is not strained, and I'm pretty sure it's very, very, very regular, apart from maybe 1 or 2 lines. And you got to wonder why it's just those 2. I thought to myself, Portia's in disguise as a completely different person, trying to save her then fiance and his best mate from a death sentence. And I wondered whether or not it might have just been she's really trying to measure things out to Shylock, and she's going, any reasonable person would think this in this particular case. They would show mercy because we all pray for forgiveness. That she's trying to show that she's being very reasonable, and the breaks then kind of, I kind of thought, well, maybe her facade isn't that strong, and she's letting it slip because someone that she loves and their best friend are under threat. And it's not perfect, and she's not a perfect person by any means. Portia's actually quite racist when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like, her disguise has flaws. That's what it told me about that. And that any amount of reasonable argument, maybe it's not going to work. That's the other part about it. But and maybe her racism is taking over at some point, and she's just thinking, oh, this is just some Jewish guy that I don't like. It's that, and probably people in your audience who maybe have studied that speech maybe approach that in an entirely different way as well, and find completely different things to work on because of that break.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm getting a sense from you that what you're saying is you take note of these changes in the rhythm, take note of these breaks in the style, and then work out based on the context of it within that specific part of the show, that speech, that scene. Is it just that character? Why would this person break that rhythm? Why would they do that? And trying to find a justification for that, for the character from their perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And there isn't one right way to do it, I guess, is the other thing I'm trying to say, is that my interpretation might not be anybody else's. And it is a negotiation between you and the text, and then you and the director, as well, as to how that variance in the rhythm might inform your own performance and then the greater message of the production.
There we go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. It would be great if you could give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hang around and check out some of these other videos that will appear and dig a little bit more into Shakespeare. I'll see you soon.